guys, in today's book to screen I'm going to be talking about the Hobbit trilogy based off of the book by J.r.r. Tolkien, starring Martin Freeman, Richard Armitage, and Ian McKellen. Before I get going with this review of all three Hobbit movies, there's a good chance I might have some spoilers. I'm not quite sure yet if there are going to be spoilers. So yeah, just watch at your own risk. Just to give a quick summary about what the Hobbit movies are about, they follow a hobbit by the name of Bilbo Baggins, played by Martin Freeman, and one day Gandalf the Wizard, played by Ian McKellen, comes to his little hobbit hole and tells him that he wants Bilbo to join this group of dwarves on a mission to reclaim their home. And at first Bilbo is like, hell no, I like it here in my comfortable house, I'm not gonna go. But eventually Bilbo does join Gandalf and this band of dwarves to reclaim their lost homeland. And on their way they encounter orcs and spiders and elves and a giant dragon. And then to top it all off, this huge gigantic battle. Let me begin by saying that the Hobbit movies are in no way bad movies. I really enjoy them. The thing is, where I guess I'm so conflicted with the Hobbit movies is my just crazy love of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy set of movies. Those movies were just absolutely perfect in every way. They are incredibly long movies, but the thing is about the Lord of the Rings is that they don't ever really feel like lengthy movies, whereas with the Hobbit movies I think run in about the same time frame like the Lord of the Rings, but with the Hobbit feels lengthy, and I think there's a lot in the Hobbit that could have just been cut out, and I don't think it necessarily had to be 3 movies. If Peter Jackson wanted to make them 3 movies, I think he still could have cut out a lot and still just made them about 2 hours apiece. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to get across is that I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and those movies will always have a special place with me. And The Hobbit, I don't think has that. I don't think it has that lasting power, that lasting stay like the Lord of the Rings does. What I do think The Hobbit excels at is probably actually the casting choices. The casting choices for all 3 of the Hobbit movies were just simply outstanding. Just everything about the casting was perfect. Martin Freeman. Bilbo was written for Martin Freeman. Seriously, Martin Freeman is Bilbo. It is so just genius. The Hobbit is about Bilbo's journey, so Martin Freeman, you know, he had to keep up with that, you know, it had to be believable, you had to feel for him every step of the way. As far as returning characters go, we got to see Gandalf again, Ian McKellen, which is always nice. Ian McKellen is Gandalf, it's just great. I think some of my problems with the Hobbit movies was actually maybe a lot of the Gandalf stuff that I don't think necessarily even needed to be in the movie. That's where a lot of my issues were, kind of with some of the slow pacing and unneeded scenes, but yeah, not to say that Ian McKellen was terrible or anything, it's just a lot of the Gandalf stuff I wasn't interested in as much. And also returning to The Hobbit, we had Orlando Bloom as Legolas. He popped up in movies 2 and 3. Freaking love Legolas. I have all sorts of Orlando Bloom things in my room. It's a bit embarrassing. What I liked about Legolas in movies 2 and 3, it was just interesting to see him as a very different sort of character, because in The Lord of the Rings, he's kind of alien in some ways, but he grows to be more human-like, and you can see the development of feelings in him. And so it was interesting watching the Hobbit movies, and he's just 100% alien, and he's very blank the whole time, and there's only flashes of emotion that you get to see in his eyes, especially though in the 3rd movie you get to see those flashes of feeling in there. I tell you what though, Orlando Bloom, it looks like he hasn't even aged a day. He's one of those guys that's fortunate enough to not like go through dramatic like facial changes in like a decade, because he still pretty much looks the exact same as he did in The Lord of the Rings. And then also making some brief appearances in all three of the movies, we had Cate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving and Christopher Lee. And as for some new characters in The Hobbit, I am a huge Richard Armitage fangirl, you guys. It's a little bit ridiculous. He plays Thorin Oakenshield, the leader of the Band of Dwarves. I thought Richard Armitage did a fantastic job as Thorin, very much just like Martin Freeman doing Bilbo. Richard Armitage really had to control every scene he was in, you know, to make it believable. And the relationship between Thorin and Bilbo is just some of the best. It's kind of one of those like shifting uphill, downhill friendships over the course of all three movies. So by the end of that third movie, you just really feel that friendship. And as far as the rest of the dwarves go, the majority of them I'm not familiar with. There was only a couple that I knew. I was super excited when they cast Aidan Turner as Killy. I loved Aidan Turner on the UK Being Human. I thought he was a great casting pick. And then I've never seen James Nesbitt on anything, but I am familiar with who he is, so he was kind of one of the only other people I recognized. Did like all of the actors doing the dwarves in general. It's just I wish that they had maybe try to include them a bit more and stuff. I felt like they kind of kept focused on the same exact groupings of dwarves. They always focused on Philly and Killy and James Nesbitt's character, and then Dwalin, played by Graham McTavish. And then every now and then some of the other dwarves would have some lines interspersed throughout the movies, but other than that they kind of focused on the like same 5 or 6 dwarves. But still, compared to the book, I think they attempted more character development with the dwarves in the movies. In the book, they're all just very one-dimensional, and they kind of just have their very one specific like character trait, and that's kind of it. So I do applaud the movies for trying to at least expand upon the dwarves and give them more characteristics and feelings, I suppose. And then as far as some more new characters go, I really loved Luke Evans as Bard the Bowman, Lee Pace as the Elf King Thranduil, and Evangeline Lilly as a new character to the movie universe named Tauriel. I cannot imagine anyone else playing Bard. Luke Evans was perfect. He's just such a great action star, and I just found him so believable as this kind of mini hero in his home. Lee Pace as Thranduil, sometimes I felt like he just stole all the scenes he was in. He was just so terrifying, so creepy. I'm not sure if he ever blinked. He had these like sweet clothes on, this sweet like crown of berries or something. Then he also had this sweet moose that he rode on into battle, which was really badass. And then I also really love the addition of Evangeline Lilly as Tauriel. A lot of people didn't really like it, but I personally did, because you know what? There's pretty much no women in The Hobbit, so it was nice to see a female in there with a badass role. And I, for one, also, kind of talking about Tauriel, I did not mind the whole Tauriel and Killy relationship. I found it really sweet and cute. And just, once again, something that wasn't even in the books, but just something that helped expand upon the character of Killy to make you feel for him by the end. And I guess I can't end my discussion on the actors of The Hobbit without talking about Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice of Smaug the Dragon. Wow. Smaug the Dragon was probably one of the best CGI dragons that I have ever seen. Just a terrifying creature. Just, I really believed he was right there, you know, playing around with Bilbo and scaring the crap out of Bilbo. So yeah, that's it for my, I guess, talk on the cast. I think I just spent the whole majority of this video talking about the cast, but like I said, I think the movie excelled in its casting choices, and the cast and the characters are what I specifically loved about the movie, compared more so than the plot, which oftentimes kind of dragged. If I had to list the movies in order of, I guess, my enjoyment, it probably would be like movies 1, 2, and 3. I think each movie got progressively better as they went along. I was incredibly worried that movie 3 was going to drag along, but I was quite surprised how quickly movie 3 moved along. It kind of got to a point near the end of the movie, the part where Thorin and Philly and Keely are going up to that mountaintop, and I was like, oh no, this is the end of the movie. I knew exactly what was coming. So yeah, surprisingly enough, the third movie flowed just super quickly, which was good, because movies 1 and 2, there were moments the movie would move along very quickly, and then moments where it was like, oh no, I need to look at my watch. And you know what I loved about the end of the third movie? In Return of the King, the ending credits had like that beautiful Annie Lennox song, and then the cast list would come up and there would be those gorgeous pencil drawings of the cast, and I liked that the third Hobbit movie did that exact same thing. They had the beautiful song playing at the end, which was sung by Billy Boyd, who played Pippin in Lord of the Rings, which was just so great and just really poignant, I think. So I like that they had, at the ending credits of the Battle of the Five Armies, the pencil drawings of the cast and the beautiful song, and I don't know, just kind of, it made everything come in this nice full circle, and really completed this set of 6 movies. And it was kind of during the whole ending credits it hit me. I was like, oh no, this is it? There's a good chance we're never ever going to go back to the world of Middle-earth. So, I don't know, just because, you know, the Lord of the Rings movies were like a decade ago. And then there's these movies, so it just feels like a huge span of my life, you know, wrapped up in these 6 movies, and it's all over now, and it was just really sad to think about as those ending credits were playing. So I guess that's it for this review. Have you guys seen the Hobbit movies? Have you read the book? What did you think? Feel free to have a conversation with me down below. So that's it for this book to screen. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you liked this book to screen, you may like these other book to screens. Bye guys.